keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Barrett and Sue. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. I done fed up on the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up on the unemployment racism and the lie they say one Guyana. Cause when you look where the oil money going, circulate with one set of banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up.
Basement level vibes with another one, straight up blackness aye. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, we have to gather wrong, grab a seat and sit down, pay attention. Education, liberation, we have to stand strong. Benskop upon the radio, lively up the program. Everybody call somebody and let them turn and tune and on the radio and catch the boom song. We boom it up already, we have to boom it up again. Expose and reveal him. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop.
Well, we're going to start right off with this here, right? Good night and welcome to Straight Up. My name is Mark Benskop. Mark Benskop. How are you guys doing? You know, some nights we just can't make it because of the situation in Guyana. We have Lemon walking off the job. We have electricity problem in Guyana. GPL, $4 billion plus went down the drain, went into somebody's pocket. You know, these three Pacus that are on the screen there. These Pacus, you get Jack Dale is a Pacu, Irfan Alu is Ali is a Pacu. But then this one here, this big guts one, Mark Phillips. I don't know. These Pacus upon Pacus upon Pacus. And these, just imagine this is what Guyana turned to. Turn to your neighbors and said, this is what Guyana turned to. I don't know what's happening, but don't give up, you know, because God hasn't turned his back on Guyana. Maybe some of you turned your backs on Guyana. Maybe some of you put your hands up and y'all ain't care who y'all support. Y'all don't even look. Hey, y'all are blind. Some of y'all are blind, you know. Turn to your neighbors and say, some of y'all blind, you know. Y'all didn't know when y'all been pacuing. People pacuing y'all and y'all didn't know that people pacuing y'all. And court, push your head out through the window and say people pacuing y'all and y'all didn't even know. Some people come in with crocodile tears, and some of y'all thinking that they like y'all. Oh, they love y'all, right? Some of y'all will lash down and condemn and beat up and spit on people who have been there for y'all. Who have been there for y'all. And y'all embracing people who ain't care about y'all. Who do all sorts of things to hurt y'all. Y'all best wake up. If y'all ain't wake up, y'all gonna realize y'all mistakes. Don't get me wrong. Y'all are going to realize y'all mistakes. Turn to your neighbor and say, Benjab talking sense tonight. He should have been on last night to talk more sense. But it's the budget, And sometimes I give and take, as I say to our folks here at 107.1 FM and Wayne sees and these guys. I say sometimes we gotta sit back and give those guys in Parliament. Y'all know I support the 12, right? Y'all know I support the 12. But I keep saying that one of my favorite, well, not just one. So far, I admire this guy here from Win. We Neil La Cruz or something. He's fun. And I like the fact that he's brave enough to stand and look at that woman in your face, that big woman in your face. Right? Look at that big woman in your face. Turn to your neighbor and say, it's a big woman. Look at that big woman straight in your face. Straight in your face. Well, not this way, right? Look at a big woman straight in your face and say, put on your man voice. Put on your man voice. Look, this guy's a big woman. Come out and say he's a big woman. Don't hide behind nothing and pretend that you're not a big woman. It's okay. Times have changed now, If you're a big woman, come out and say you're a big woman. Come out. I don't know why some of these chaps just feel that they gotta hide and peep and all kind of thing, and they want nobody know that them is big women. Come out. Come out. Good night again. My name is Mark Benchop. Welcome to Straight Up. How many of you have shared the link? If you haven't shared the link, well, we're going to call you a big woman then. All of y'all big woman here today. Every single one of y'all. From Wayne Caesar is a big woman. Savitri Rose is a big woman. People just call me big woman. Right? So, good night to Wayne Caesar. Good night to all of you guys. Carl Miller is a big woman too. Right? Turn to your neighbor and say, Carl Miller is, we're just killing some time so you could spread share the link and so forth. It's Friday night. Just put in a little smile on your face, Let me see who else is a big woman. We shame to call them big woman, We shame to call all the big woman. Rajin is a big one. Good night again to all of you. Welcome to Straight Up. My name is Mark Benja. What are we gonna? It's Friday night, guys. What are we gonna talk about? I want to begin with this here. Thank you, Siobhan. Thank you, all of you guys. Somebody message Wayne Caesar before he quit. Next thing you know, he knew him back no show. Somebody said that Ben Sharp said Wayne is a big woman. We get a little fun on the show, of course. Good night to all of you. And don't forget, Wayne Caesar is going to be on tomorrow. We don't want him to quit, right? So we're going to promote his show. He's going to be on tomorrow. On Over to You. Errol said she's a big woman. All right, fair enough. Big woman. Big woman, right? So hear what they're doing. Something caught my attention. I want to play this here for you guys. But then again, let me welcome you to Straight Up and good night. It's Friday night. And we're going to move on. Serious business. And we do it with a little smile on our faces. That's how we operate on Straight Up. That's how we operate on 107.1 FM. So I want you guys to listen to this, and I'll make a point.
This is a political message. Indeed, it is a political message. What you do to the enemy?
All right, so that's Lucky B, right? Now, for all the years, and I want to make a point before we move on. All the years Lucky B there doing his thing, they haven't recognized him. They ignored him in so many ways. You ride in some big bike and they chastening, colony, all sorts of things from madman to this and that, and every single thing. But this guy didn't give up. He keeps going and he going and he going and they insulting him and all things. And so this guy, and you never know when it's your time again, you know. In life, you can be up one day and then suddenly you take that fall. But it's when you take that fall in life, you've got to look for who are the people who are there for you. And I'm using this guy as an example. You know, he had a lovely song in the past, you know, he did his stuff, but he took that dive. And so there are folks within the community laugh him, this, all sort of things. No government give a damn about him. Under the PPP regime, we would say that, right? And so suddenly now, suddenly this is what the PPP loves these things. Anything to deal with skin or whatever upon them. And then his mash outfit is called what? You guys could mention it in the audience there. Right? That's his mash costume. And suddenly now, suddenly they realize that this guy is getting the hits. These people are catching on to him, right? People are talking about him. He's getting the views, he's getting the likes. But this thing caught Kwame's attention and Jagdev's attention. Y'all know why they're gonna cling on to him now because of this.
Skinny what? On the what? On the enemy. This is a political message.
All right, so right away, Kwame and Jagdev and those guys realized that, right, Astel? You know what, right? And so they love this. They love this promotion. And this guy is important now for them because Mashramani is, when is Mashramani? The 20, what? Let me see if you guys remember, those of you who are outside of Guyana for all those years. When is Mashramani? So they're going to grab this guy, Lucky B, and they're going to try to use him in a political way and use the young man for promotion now. Because Skinny is catching on. It's catching on. It's the truth. Because that is what you got to do with those pakus. You got to, right? Turn to your neighbor and say, when you see Jagdev and all those pakus, you got to, right? I know apostle and pastors and everybody watching, Pandits and Meiji and everybody watching. So I don't want to say exactly what Lucky B is saying, but Lucky B is talking directly to the politicians, them, especially these corrupt ones in the PPP. He's turning to them and he's saying, turn to your neighbor right now. Just, Skipping you, Skipping you, turn to your neighbors, just keeping you. And so, while it may sound funny, if you notice now the media that is flooding this guy here now, and most of them are PPP media houses, because they want to know how a guy like Lucky B could market himself, and we could be talking about him right here on 107.1 FM. And we have started promoting the guy who is making, I wish I could make some t-shirts with Jagdev, Mark Phillips, and these guys. Make some t-shirts with their names on it and just put underneath, Guyana, what are we going to do without Guyana, guys? There's a lot of things that are, bad things are happening in Guyana, but we got to find some time to even put a smile on our face. So as we look at the enemies, we have to be able to say, when you see Jagdev, wherever you see Jagdev, just pull down and, right? You see Mark Phillips, tell Mark Phillips in front of his face too. Just, Mark Phillips. Irfan Ali, Irfan Ali. Jagdev, Jagdev. But when it comes to Well, especially Jack Dale and Kwame. You don't take the chance because you can't eat your dinner. If you go to Kwame and you pull his, good night again. My name is Mark Benjab. What's happening in your neck of the woods? I know lots of things in Guyana. They're debating the budget, that $1.5 trillion budget. They're debating it. But, we're not the budget guys here. Wayne season them, they're going to deal with that tomorrow. However, $1.3 trillion. I was about to say 1.3, but my daughter, Emma already always going to correct me. It's 1.3. 3. Turn to your neighbor and say 3, not 3. It's $1.5 trillion. But nothing in it for you, nothing in it for the ordinary man or woman. And that is why I wish we could take Lucky B right now in Parliament and stand in front of Mansour Nadir. And you know what Lucky B should do with Mansour Nadir? Mansour Nadir. Not Mansour Nadir. That is all. Because those guys aren't anybody that should be respected. They're gangsters. And they think people are pakus. That is what is happening. $1.5 trillion. And nothing is in the budget. Absolutely nothing is in the budget for you, the ordinary working class people. Nothing. And so they're going through the budget line item and they're asking questions. I think it was Sarabu Haley who asked, Sarabu jumping Haley. She jumped from here, jump there, jump there. So she jumped over to win now. But she asked a good question though. And I think from that question, she cornered the Minister of Health. I think they have 221 employees. And the simple question was basically, simple question, how many persons you guys intend to hire? And the minute the so-called Speaker of the National Assembly stepped in to assist the Minister of Health, Frank Anthony fumbled because I just knew that he was lying. He didn't want to answer the question. He just didn't. So jump. Sarabu Haley, right? Jumpy, jump. Sarabu Haley cornered him with that question. So jumpy, jump, Sarabu. Nice question. Nice job. Jumpy, jump. Jumpy, jump. I wonder what's going on with me on this Friday here. Jumpy, jump. But I like the questions coming from the opposition politicians. And, I think all of those guys in the 12, they have tackled those vagabonds in the PPP. I don't know if you saw Psycho Andrews, his speech. All those guys, man. I wish I can give all of them an award right now. You guys in the audience, you can feel free to say thank you to the 12. Feel free to say thank you to the 12. What you're getting from the 12 is what you call solid representation. No distractions. No distraction at all. But you guys know Muhammad is bare distraction with Hazruddin, bare distraction. And, because it's a personal battle, you know what's going on there. A personal war between the Mohammeds and Jack Deo and Irfan. Personal battle. This is what's going on there. Y'all don't be fooled, Turn to your neighbors and say, y'all don't be fooled, with this personal battle. Right? But putting that aside, though, I like what I'm seeing from the 12. And y'all have to continue to support and give the 12 that sort of kudos. They deserve it. They're working for you, hard for you. They're not working to save themselves from anything. And every single day is a distraction. And sometimes a distraction, you could understand it too, because you know what the PPP is doing. They're fighting that personal battle. They're using your tax dollars. They're using the same thing now to go after the Mohammeds and them. Sometimes it's justified. Sometimes it's not justified, But then again, you sit back and you say, well, you give the PPP $20 million. as an investment, and then you make back 210 million, and then you give them another 20 million, and then you get $1 billion contract, and then you give them another 20 million and you get more. And y'all ain't doing the math, you know. Colin Barnwell, y'all do the math. Tell them do the math. Tell them do the math, because a lot of y'all in, a lot of y'all, I know if some of y'all like Peter Ramsroop fail common entrance, right? Because y'all know Peter Ramsroop say he failed common entrance. He failed common entrance, and he didn't tell y'all that Bornham rescued him, though, meaning the PNC rescued him. All right, good night again, guys. It's you know what, we got to start taking phone calls. I know a lot of you, some folks out in the quarantine, they've asked me questions. They say, man, they want to come and talk. They want to come and talk that the PBP turning a blind eye on those folks in New Amsterdam, turning a blind eye on the folks in Skeldon, Rose Hall, and all the villages there on the quarantine, Firish, Belvedere, you name it. Firish, Belvedere, Little India, in Skeldon, Corriverton there, Little Africa. You go right now and talk to the people. Colin Barnwell, I don't know when was the last time you went back to Guyana. I don't know. Lylin, somebody named Lylin, that's who, man. Lylin and Roxanne Batson. I don't know when was the last time you guys went to Guyana. But if you go to Guyana right now, or if you are in Guyana right now, you ask young people in Ituni, what do they do? What are their future plans? They have nothing to tell you other than the fact that the government has failed them. Go to Kokwani, go there right now and ask the people, how are they surviving in Kokwani? Are they going to survive on promises? Or are they going to only get a little road patch whenever some paku in the government going up there for something? And then they're going to clean up and they're going to brush up and they're going to whatever. That is what's happening. And so you've got to be extra careful, because ain't nothing going on in Guyana. Ain't nothing. As there's a song by Jody Watley, you know, she said, ain't nothing going on but the rent. Well, that's what's going on in Guyana. People got to pay their rent, and if they're lucky enough to find the money, they got to pay the mortgage. Some hardworking single moms, they have to pay for their stalls, because they get some city council police, some city police will run them down to pay their monies and all sorts of things. So in Guyana, it's a lot of frustration upon every day. Why you think people abusing out? Every day is abuse out, a cuss out, abuse out, a cuss out, abuse out. Somebody face wrinkle, somebody nose big. By the time and start walk this side, by the time you reach the other side, they turn a cockroach. All sorts of things. Big abuse out, cuss out. Every day. Have you guys known Guyana to be like this? Put aside social media. Growing up on the quarantine, the little village, little views out and thing, yeah. But every single day is somebody cussing somebody out, somebody telling somebody their foot hard, somebody telling them this, somebody tell them they look like a funeral home, somebody tell them that them is FBI. You know what FBI means, right? Flat. Every single day. Every day. I saw some video with the banner Mohammed and 3 female aliens from outside, right? And then drugs. Oh, I knew. Where's Lemon? There's a young woman on the quarantine. I think she's somewhere on the quarantine, right? She visited the New Amsterdam prison. And apparently Shaman in the prison. And she had to take self-support. So she took a underarm deodorant for Shaman. And what happened is that they accuse her of putting 3 little fine, what you call it, marijuana three little fine small bags of marijuana, right? They accused her. Now, I don't know whether she did that or not, or she bought the deodorant like that. Because these days, you got to be careful when you buy things. There's get all sort of things stuff in it, right? You got to be extra careful. I know I'm not talking about Iqbal and whatever, but you got to be careful though, right? And so, three little, fine little weed like this. Them and know that them banners in prison want a little headspace. They call it headspace, guys. You want a little headspace. Cigarette, they call it waggy. Them banners want a little headspace. So now I'm not condoning those actions, mind you, in terms of smuggling things in there. Speaking of smuggling things, it brought back some memories to me. I know, hey, I got it brought back some memories. I ain't gonna lie. It's smuggling things because remind me of my Jagdeo. Dilip had to remind you all what I used to do, right? Is what he said.
These people can be vile and nasty. If I tell you what I know of Benchka, it gets sickening. He was the reigning queen in the prison for 3 years. And the thing is that people, the prison officers, people were carrying food, they were trying to smuggle in a wig and lipstick for him there. I know that because I was president, they gave me report.
Right? You guys, come on. Could you believe this guy? People smuggling wigs and lipstick? Seriously, this is a guy who sits there as a so-called vice president, you know. Listen to him.
These people can be vile and nasty. If I tell you what I know of Benchka, it gets sickening. He was the reigning queen in the prison for 3 years. And the thing is that people, the prison officers, people were carrying food, they were trying to smuggle in a wig and lipstick for him there. I know that because I was president, they gave me report.
Y'all don't worry, the big woman. Just dotishness. And these are the sort of things that's happening in Guyana, right? These are the sort of things happening in Guyana. And so when people lash back out at them, the bombs raised, they get vexed. So she get vexed because we talk about Dilip. They hired Dilip, an Indian national, to go to Guyana to pretend as though he's Jagdeo, because Jagdeo is going through chemotherapy, right? And whenever you see Jagdeo walking, Jagdeo is now walking around with a pee bag. Y'all nurses know the name of that. So he walks around with a bag. Bharat Jagdeo walks around with a pee bag that they strap it on the left side of his leg. So he is undergoing chemotherapy right now. That is why you do not see him in public. He is in hiding. That is what's going on. Jagdeo is sick. He is a sick man, physically and mentally. And so don't let them fool you guys. Sometimes you see him and sometimes you see Dilip. There is a Dilip right now from India that got paid 200 or so thousand US dollars, your tax dollars. More than double up that 20 million that them Mohammed's claim that they give him. But by the way, 20 million is crumbs. There's cheese money. There's chalk money, right? Lots of other people pay the dues and pay up and give the PBB them money. I want to see them other checks from them other people too. So they paid 200,000 US dollars and they brought this guy, a food vendor from India, to act as though he is Jagdeo. His name is Dilip from India. That's what's going on in Guyana. So when you think you're seeing Jack Deere, it's not Jack Deere, guys. It's Dilip. Why you think you can't see him at the so-called press conferences? It's because he's weak. He getting injection all over Lucky B all talking about. He's getting injection. Look at what is going on with him, guys. You think it's the wigs and lipstick getting him looking like this? Y'all think it's the wigs and lipstick? Look at all the top teeth are broke out. God in heaven knows what was fit between there. Well, it's none of our business, right? Welcome back to Straight Up. My name is Mark Benshop, and I want to talk back about that young lady. But Neville Seatal is here. You know, Neville is my guy. We go way back in the struggle. And so they caught Neville and they put it there in thing. But Neville now, here's where me and Neville gonna get wrong. Neville said Oswald smuggled 2 cigarettes for me in Benchap newspaper. That never happened. I know what you're talking about. Nobody smuggled nothing, no cigarette in my paper because I don't smoke or nothing. So don't put whoever Oswald is and snitch from people civic. Don't do that. I don't know who's Oswald. I don't know about no cigarette, and I know about no newspaper. Don't do with the civic. Don't do with the Oswald smuggles cigarette for you. Civic, you don't do them things. Or however you get your cigarette, you keep your cigarette. Whoever is Oswald that smuggles cigarette for you, yeah, you keep that for yourself. Yeah, we want to talk about Dilip, right? But Oswald smuggles cigarette for you. Hey, speaking of newspaper, y'all know Starbuck News gone down, right? Starbuck News gone. But we're going to get back to Starbuck News just now. I want to talk about the young lady that 3 little small things. 3 little small things. 3 little country baby weed thing. That lock the girl up. Plaster her. Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Civic, you don't call officer's name, man. You don't do that. You got to learn the jail of the rule jail, man. Don't call officer's name. If an officer did a favor for you, it's okay. Don't do that, man. You're violating. Don't talk about these things here. You're violating, man. Whether they're gone or not, you're violating people. Whether they're dead or not. Whatever they help you out with, fair enough. It's done with. Don't put people on ID parade. They still get family. They still get friends. They still get colleagues. Don't do that, Civic. Now, Civic make a last method. He calling officers' names and all kind of thing because they're dead and gone. No, man. Some of the officers you mentioned were good officers. Don't do that. Respect. Now, 3 little piece of marijuana you're going to jail the woman for. You're going to plaster her photograph all over. But the funny thing is, though, they don't plaster the real drug lords them, you know. They don't plaster the real drug lords them. In fact, they do everything to protect those big people, those big drug dealers. They're not going to put the big drug dealers' photographs in the newspaper like they put that little woman, that young woman. 3 little piece of ganja. Shame on the Guyana police force. But here what? Tons of cocaine they got in Belgium. They got cocaine that they found. And then they found cocaine in Colombia as well, right? So here's what's happening. Right away, you notice that the Kanu said that everything went through smoothly and declared at their end. Now, I'm not going to believe Kanu. Kanu helped ship tons of cocaine. They turned a blind eye away, allowed tons of cocaine to slip through. They know what's going on. A lot of those Kanu officers, they know what's going on. Well, they get some decent hard-working ones, so they know what's going on. But they're not going to go to the big drug lords or the big gold smugglers or the big money launderers and so forth and plaster their photos like that. Those individuals who are smuggling gold and smuggling shipping out drugs and all these things and smuggling guns into the country, they are the ones who are described as quote unquote businessmen. They are businessmen. And the poor little black woman, we got to say it raw like that. The poor little black woman, African Guyanese woman, the plastering ship, and them ain't got no shame. Look the size of the little marijuana thing. I don't know. They should just come to a point in Guyana. Again, I'm not condoning. If you're taking your stuff, then just carry your stuff for your family to eat or whatever. But you never condone smuggling. You don't treat somebody like that and think that you're doing something to stop the marijuana from going into prisons. And all I would say is that the bulk of marijuana that reaches into prison or contraband, it's not done by prisoners, you know. It's not done by prisoners. I don't know who it's done by. Don't ask me. Don't ask me, and I ain't telling you nothing. But all I'm saying to you is that prisoners are not the ones who are smuggling contrabands in today. Prisoners are not. Y'all read between the lines. Prisoners are not. But when I catch one little person, the one embarrass the girl. Just give the girl a warning, ban her from going to the prisons, and give her a little, maybe let her pay a fine or a little community service. But, you know, I don't know. I feel it for her. Whoever she is, I wish her all the best, and don't give up. Don't give up. Just don't give up at all. Now, what's happening with this Stabroek News? I heard that the Stabroek News, well, somebody said, yeah, I heard the Stabroek News is as of March 20th or something like that, will be no more. I don't know when was the last time I read Stabroek News. I don't read. In fact, the papers, I don't read the Chronicle. I don't read the Stabroek News. I sometimes take a look online of the Kaichur News, and also at times the Village Voice News. The others, I take a glance at them. You know, you get Gordon Mosley news source, it is, yeah. But the top one for me is the Village Voice. I watch, I see what's going on. I smile at some of the articles, and I smile back at some of the articles. But I don't know when was the last time I read the Village Voice. Not the Village Voice, the Stabroek News. And the Stabroek News is going, the Stabroek News is going, the Stabroek News is going out of business, part and parcel because times have changed. And you got to adapt, you got to go with the times. And Stabroek News wasn't able to do that. Maybe under the leadership of Anand Prasad there, I don't know what went wrong. But when David de Caries, the owner of the Stabroek News, died, everything just apparently, there were others there that are fighting. But in any entity, you have to have strong leadership. And it's not just because the times have changed. You have to adapt. And this goes in politics too. Political leaders have to adapt. They got to realize that this is not 10 or 15 years ago in politics. They got to change. They got to go with the flow. They got to embrace a lucky bee. Also, they got to visit a lucky bee and sing along to, right? And the point is that our political leaders have to adapt to things have changed. And so with newspapers, you got to realize that times have changed. Look at my show. Take, for example, I maintain a reasonable amount of listeners, viewers. I can get more, right? They have folks, they get thousands of viewership, which is good. Now, I'm not knocking at them. But I am at least a little higher than Stabroek News and the newspapers. I give you guys juicy stuff. Their stuff is, people hardly pick up and read these days, right? And so the point I'm making is that I have realized that times have changed. But I ain't gonna change rapidly so because the times have changed. I could get more viewership. In fact, I can get 10, 15,000 viewers. Right now, I can get 10, 15,000 viewers. You tell somebody that Ben Sharp right now is about to perform. Let me stand up and I'm going to do my show without shirt right now. Tag everybody right now. Watch the rating go up. I'm going to take my shirt off right now. And then when I finish taking my shirt off, I am going to remove my belt because I mean business. I mean to show you guys where the viewership lies and what to do to get the viewership and all. Now, I'm not going to do what Doggy did, turn around and pull a lucky beep on them. That was yucky, Doggy. How could you do that? Right? But the point is, because times have changed, right? And what people are looking for is at times entertainment. And how do you get the viewership? How do you get that? You gotta perform. Hey, don't carry your mother, carry your right? Because that's where the viewership is. Now I could pull a Judge Shishito. Well, not in that sense, but I could pull a Judge Shishi thing back and pull back and jump through one window, go through back the other window, and pull a lucky beep on them and shake and dance up. And I said, I could do these things. How many of you guys want me to take my shirt off right now? And I'm going to do my show with my shirt off, and I'm going to go on and perform. And then by tomorrow, you're going to hear, hey, y'all see Ben Shabai? The man get muscle, boy. If you see the man muscle, and plus, if you see the man, boy, what? Yeah, girl. And he looks sexy without shirt. I didn't tell you he's sexy. Remember? I didn't tell you a story. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yes, girl. And look, he got it good. Oh, God. Zoom in, zoom in. Zoom in, zoom in, girl. Patricia, come here. Come, zoom in. And see all them from Middle Road zooming in for me. All them in West zooming in for me. All is who's a biscuit chest there. Ban them. Ban the person there. Victor Ben get banned. He jealous. Right? The point I'm making, whilst adding a little humor, is that there's what's selling right now. If I pull up in Albaiston right now with a Big Ben, a bicycle, how many of y'all know Big Ben? A bicycle. People can come here, they might see Ben Sharp here, but they ain't gonna come wrong. But you let me pull up in Albaiston with a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or whatever, a nice fancy thing, and I come out and chain here and I get 2 bodyguards, 4 bodyguards. I get Wayne, I get Gavin, I get Brenda Casey, I get Monica Jones, I get all of them bodyguarding me now. But you know the serious of all of them is Brenda Casey, right? Hey, stay back. And I push me hand in me pocket and I pull out a set, not 20 million. Pull out money, buy up here, buy up there, buy this, buy that. What y'all think gonna happen? Y'all reading between the lines, right? What y'all think gonna happen? Compared to when a leader goes in there, ain't carrying nothing but a proper message, mind you. Oh, yes, sir, good night. Good night, young man. How are you doing? Yes, good night. Good night. Good night. And then when they gone, right? Trey Green, if you can see this topic a serious topic, it's through the door, out, go along your way, right? So now, right, go along your way. If you don't see this a serious topic, you go along your way. Now, compared to, let us say now, somebody that has a good message for the youths them, a proper message for the youths them, that would able to say, look, I want to be able to lift you guys out of real poverty. And to send that message, majority of the young people in get time with that. Even though you're giving them a way, even though you're showing them a way out of poverty, out of the current situation, Most of them ain't want to listen to that. They rather the little bling bling, the bling bling politics, and the fancy car, and the move in, and the little chain, and who give out little money, and these sort of things. That can't move a country. That can't develop a community. That can't offer people real hope. And so because of these short-term things, that some of our people are more gravitated towards materialistic things that could last them just for 1 hour. If somebody buy out all your stuff in a store, all right, fair enough. But don't expect them to come back next week. Don't expect them to come back next month. You ain't seen them back until elections time. But real leaders do not operate like that. When they roll up into your community, whether it's a bicycle or not, listen to the leaders that have some message for you that will able to lift you up from your current situation, not use you for personal gains and benefits. Do not do that. Listen, guys, and read between the lines what is happening. You've got to do that. Otherwise, y'all are going to continue to get hurt and hurt and hurt and hurt and disappointed. And then y'all going to take out y'all anger on politicians, the good ones them. The good ones them, the ones that really mean business for you, and the ones who really have your back, and the ones them who could stand up and defend you. That is exactly what it is. So you've got to be careful, guys. And if you don't think that the message is serious, even on a Friday evening with a little smile. Now, some people may come with their own agenda on this show, fair enough. But we're not going to tolerate distractions. They get some in the audience, they like to distract. But we pick them out as quickly as possible, and we have no apologies. They're going straight in the trench. We're watching 2 of them right now in the audience. They're going straight in the trench. It is not because of intolerance. It is because we see that there is a pattern. And that is why we do not tolerate, we do not allow that here on 107.1. Anybody to distract us and try to corrupt the minds of our people right there, our hardworking people and our patriotic people there in the audience. It's not going to work. Trust me. We have eagle eyes for them. But let's get back to Stabroek News. Do you know that the corrupt government of Guyana, the corrupt PPP regime, according to information, they owe Stabroek News $80 million. And that's what they do. They stifle you. Economic stronghold, they choke you. And they kill you economically. If they don't kill you physically, like what they did with Crummy Wing and Ronald Waddle and scores of other persons, economically, they stifle you. And that is what they are doing to Independent. Now, I don't necessarily agree a lot of times with Stabroek News, because Stabroek News isn't really what it used to be before, in my opinion. It used to be nice in terms of, but things have changed. And I see a different Stabroek News. And so I wasn't surprised when the editor-in-chief, Anand Prasad, said that that's it. They're leaving. They're gone. That's it. Because times have changed. And outside of that, people are hardly advertising. People prefer to come on social media and advertise because that's where the audience is. And people hardly like to read these days. You remember back in the days, you sit in the train, whether it's the D train and you're going to Manhattan, or the B train or E train from Queens, wherever you're going. Back in those days, everyone had a paper in their hand. Everyone had a book. People were reading, whether it's the New York Times. And if someone is reading the New York Times, you already know what they're about, right? Anybody's reading the New York Post, you already know what political party they may be supporting. Somebody reading the Daily News, what's going on there. If you see somebody with a Village Voice, because back in the days they had a paper in New York called the Village Voice, right? And so you already know what is happening. Well, 1 and 2 times I make sure I purchase my New York Times, and I sit down there. I get a couple other pictures over the newspaper, and people think it's New York Times I'm reading. But the point is, you never had phones. Now, when you go into the trains or in the bus now, everybody, nobody can get time with you no more, you know. Right, Jennifer? Nobody can get time with you no more. Everybody on the phone. Everybody. From mother, father, daughter, picnic, everybody on the phone. Every single person on the phone. So it changed from newspaper days, where everybody, you were actually forced to read. If you can't read, somebody else is going to read for you. But you were forced to read. Now people don't even read. People tune into talk shows in the mornings. They listen to Kadaki before they buy a newspaper. They listen to Sherrod Duncan before they buy a newspaper. They listen to Conan Marshall. But y'all know Conan is buy, right? They listen to these guys. They listen to Otto Martin. Otto, we watching you. But they listen to an Otto Martin. They don't buy Stabrook News. They listen to a Norman Brown. They don't buy Stabrook News. They listen to these shows. They listen to a Judge Shishi. I mean, some might be for entertainment, but some are serious as well. They listen to these shows. They listen to Melly Mel. They listen to these shows more than they would go and they would buy a newspaper. They wouldn't buy a newspaper. They listen to Wayne Caesar. They listen to these shows. Did I mention Norman Brown? Because I want to message me and say, Banus, you didn't think, you know. They listen to a Brown. They listen to these shows. They listen to Nima Flubest. They listen to Lurleen Nestor. They listen to these shows, guys, because times have changed. And this is where now the leadership of political parties have to adapt to that. They have to realize that this is not the days when people were forced to to read A New Nation and so forth and so on. They got to nice up things. They got to modernize things because times have changed, right, Michael Reed? And plus, on top of that, people didn't get money to buy newspaper. New York Times had to change. You think they may lay off a set of people? The Washington Post may be closing its door too. Times have changed. And that is why, as commentators, we have to adopt young people. There are more young people. If I show you the statistics here on folks who listen to Benchap Radio, majority of our listeners are between the ages, ashamed to tell you, right? 40, between 40 or 35 and like Wayne Season them age in the 60s and 70s and so forth, right? The bulk of our listeners are that age demographics. But between 18 to 25, our percentage isn't that high. Because you think young people going to want to sit down and listen to this good-looking old man? No. Unless the good-looking old man is going on and performing and cussing up and dance. Show them that you're a good dancer. Show them that you're a good dancer. Show them that you're a good dancer. And things like that. And the point is, it might sound with a little humor. Times have changed. So political leaders, y'all realize that times have changed. Y'all come better. Talk so that young people can understand. I ain't saying you got to perform and go on and things like that, you know. I ain't saying you got to show them that you're a good dancer. Show them that you're a good dancer, right? But you got to realize that these are different times we're living in. And the guys in APNU as well, and Congress Place, the leadership, they have to repackage the thing now. It's just like back in the days we used to sell fudge and pera. We used to love a pera. But you're selling a fudge from a little bottle, glass bottle. But because times have changed, you got to move with the times. You've got to be competitive. So you got to fancy up your fudge in a nice fancy plastic bag. Look at plantain chips back in the days compared to how they package the plantain chip now. They're packaging it because of modern times. And so as political leaders, political parties, you got to package your messages to suit the modern times. You can't condemn young people and say that young people then this and no, you got to package your political message. You can't get political messages long. People ain't gonna read. Majority of the young people ain't gonna read them long press release. They're not. That is why the more press conferences that you have, it will work in your favor. You can't get a press conference once a week and then expect your message to get out there. When the PNC or APNU them, they get their press conference on Friday, by the time they come back next Friday, everything gets stale, things ain't done, and they think that they issue some long press release. And you don't do that. The PNC, APNU, they should get about 3 or 4 press conferences. Whenever something happens, get your press conference. Keep it rolling, keep it going, keep it on TikTok, keep it here, keep it there, and so forth. You got to up your game, guys. Move away from those old days, old-fashioned way of doing things. Yes, you could add a little bit of the old-fashioned thing in between, don't get me wrong. But you got to move with the times. Majority of the voters in Guyana are young people. You got to move with the times. Somebody messaged me and said I mustn't be ashamed to tell my age. Everybody knows my age. Everybody knows I'm in my 70s. So you got to move with the times. Tomorrow, I hope when Caesar does his show with a big rope chain, a big gold chain with a couple, he's get gold teeth, just pushing him out. Do these sort of things with a left side long earring. Times have changed. Now, again, I'm saying this to these guys in APNU PNC. Change your rhythm. Just like reggae, y'all know them beat back in the days, they change it. They mix it all the time. The punani rhythm. They're moving every generation. It's changing. Just like in the 60s, they had bell-bottom dimes. Michael Reed and them know that. Bell-bottoms. And in one time in Guyana, they had stonewash. The stonewash generation. I had a stonewash jeans. And then they had a song about stonewash. Skin cancer, me no want no skin cancer. No acid wash, me say in the area. So things change. And so the message here tonight is, of course, Stabrook News has gone, and Stabrook News has said that the reason that they've gone, it's because times have changed. Carlton Popo back with us again, bye. Right? Times have changed. Turn to your neighbor and say, times have changed. The ting-ting rhythm back in the days, the ting-ting rhythm like this, it has changed. The bogle dance, it has changed. Now it's bare, jump out, skin out, and ting up, and you. It has changed. And if we, I'm a 70s born, right? I'm a 1970s baby. And things that we used to do as little kids back then, into the early 80s, mid 80s, and so forth, as we're getting older, it has changed. And so the way our parents used to treat us back then because of those times. It doesn't mean that we have to do all of the same things with our kids. We have to realize that this is a new generation, and we've got to be able to mix the old ways with the new ones as well. Sometimes we got to compromise, we got to give and take and say, bye, you know, I would get licks for this, but it doesn't mean you got to give them licks for this now. 25, 30 years later, we've got to come to the realization that because times have changed, this is a different generation. This generation look in your face and one, a couple of times Emma won't call me Mark Benchop. I said, no. But you do it in a nice, sophisticated way. She wants to call her mother Anne. Well, there's a mistake she gonna make, right? Call your mother Anne, right? I usually got to upstairs and I'm like, what happening up there, right? She could get past me with Mark, but I will find a way to say, hey, come. But the point is, long ago, you think I could look at me father and call him full mouth? Just imagine I calling my father, look at my father and say, hey, Dilip. What ax? Right? Again, the point is, as I'm sending this political message, it's times have changed politically. The generation, they have changed. And the politics, how the politics used to be, different then. And so when you see what's going on in Parliament now, don't condemn. Find ways and means to say and to understand that the times have changed. It has changed. It has moved from long skirt generation, long skirt, to then they get mini skirt. And then they get nothing. You could basically see everything. Dancehall, disco, fairy lights, you could see everything. That's the generation that we're in right now. And then the banners walk in the street with the tightest pants. Tight, I don't know why them banners just wear them tight pants or how them banners just go in them tight pants though. And then they get some of them pants. I remember I grew up with them big pants, them baggy pants, baggy days. In the late 80s, early 90s, baggy, right? And then they get them banners wearing the pants till down, you could see the underwear and all kind of thing. There's not me style, not me generation there, right? But don't condemn. Don't condemn. And here's why I don't condemn, because I understand times have changed. But I recall on the quarantine, big men in K walking in a yard, walking on the road, run across the street with a beer bucked. The beer bucked up if you go and buy a cigarette or buy a quarter bottle of rum. And so when you see the young ones then wearing with the pants down and stuff, remember quarantine days, banners walk around like that too. They get some banners from Georgetown when they walk, the pants they're down here, and you see the bucked and they get a kerchief hanging down, and they get just the singlet. So the point is, for fashion, times have changed. For politics, times have changed. For the way we bring our kids up, for the most part, times have changed. And so we got to, let me give you guys, as we prepare to wrap up, a quick example. I didn't see Emma walking here yet because she's there. She doesn't get her iPad during the week. Her mom ensures that she doesn't get it. But for me, I'm the soft spot. But she's on her iPad now, so I didn't see her here now. But anytime she walks in the studio, and of course we run a serious show, but because times have changed, I don't want to do what my folks would have done, my parents would have done. Y'all would have just seen me here one time alone by accident. My father would have said, hey, we take a commercial break, I'll be right back. Right? That was the last time y'all see me back on this show. The point is that times have changed and we have to adapt to those times. We have to. how our parents used to do certain things, it doesn't mean we have to do the same now. We have to give and we have to take. We have to compromise. I recall before I go, my elder son, uh, Ryan, something I was telling him. He was just had finished common interest or something, or in high school. Something I said to him, and he said, and I heard my second son also, Jonathan said the same thing. He said, Dad, I never forget this. Here, Dad, you said don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. But yet you're telling us don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. What about democracy? Don't I have a choice? And I pulled back for a moment because they were right. There are times when our kids do have a choice, and we must be able to give and take. We must be able to compromise, and we teach them, we guide them. Times have changed. And again, I'm trying to say this from a political standpoint, that politically times have changed too. And our political leaders in APNU and PNC have to understand that times have changed. That is why on social media, everybody has a voice. It's easy to become an activist or a Facebook host. It's easy. You get a computer, you get a phone, you get a camera, you start your platform. People build their platforms like that. Not all times we agree with them. Some of them cuss me out, cuss and bear, cuss and bear, cuss and that. It's okay. Times have changed. We got to roll with the times. 10, 15 years from now, there will be a different time. But for now, it's, you know what time it is? People are texting me, asking me not to go. Don't go. You know, I don't know. They mean don't go. You know, texting me, telling me don't go. How many of you guys want me to stay on for a few more minutes? Just let me know. If you want me to stay on for a few more minutes, I could stay on for a few more minutes. But the message tonight is basically Stabroek News is gone. Kaichor News is surviving, but Kaichor News and these newspapers on the ground are no longer popular as they used to be. Back in those days, when there weren't social media and these sort of things, everybody ran to the newspaper stand to pick up a Stabroek News or a Kaichor News. But those days are gone. They're long gone. People no longer run around. Newspaper guys struggle, or women, those hardworking newspaper folks, they struggle to sell their newspapers now because people will prefer to go and see what's happening on social media than to pick up the newspapers to read. Indeed, Popo, Anthony, this time in a long time, indeed. Somebody say pre-Valentine's. So you even forget, the older you get in life, you forget about Valentine. You forget about those sort of things. But those of you who do celebrate that, happy Valentine's Day tomorrow to all of you. And so, again, the message, I hope that the PNC guys, Apno and them, would do, maybe Lachman Aziz can talk to her comrades them in the PNC to understand that times have changed. And so this once a week press conference, it should move to at least 3 times per week. And there should be regular press conferences, regular messages. You can't get vexed when your political enemies, especially those who don't like Yall and those who want to take away all Yall votes from the PNC and APNO and so forth. Y'all can't sit down and watch them utilize social media in the way that social media ought to be utilized, and y'all not doing it. The conservative layback kind of way of doing and playing the politics, it's not going to work in 2026. It didn't work in 2020. Well, y'all get cheated and robbed in 2020. Y'all get robbed in 2025. But win back the hearts of the young people, guys. Win it back. I don't know who's going to take the spot of Stabroek News, but there will come a time that we will get right back right back. We will go right back to the newspapers and so forth. Social media is just for this generation. The next generation, they might be saying, what's social media? Just like the beeper. Young people don't know what is beeper. You know them big four where you used to ring and you got to answer it? Young people won't even, I bet I will deliberately buy a phone like that and ask Emma to dial a number, or Jonathan. I bet they probably wouldn't even know how to dial a number. Point again is, times have changed. Times have changed. Change with the times. Back in the days, people used to put what you call it, scotch tape and glue up their teeth and all kind of thing. Now they don't do that. In modern days, they get some people wearing dentures you wouldn't even know. Whenever you run into Wayne Caesar, Beatrice, and Mary Figueroa and all of them, Brenda Braithwaite, just check them out. I'm out of here, guys. Wayne is going to be on tomorrow. Lachman Aziz, good night to you and your folks out there, Bushdat Village on the West Coast, Berbice. Beatrice is saying pre-Valentine's greetings to me. Thank you so much, Beatrice. Gosh, Beatrice always have this soft spot for me. Yeah. Fidel Albert and all of you. God bless you all. I'll be back on Monday. Wayne is going to be on tomorrow too. Tune into him. But turn to your neighbors and say, times have changed. Times have changed. I'm out of here. Have a great rest of the night. And remember, times have changed, right? So long, Stabrook News. So long, Stabrook News. Before we go, what's going on? I wanted to talk about this sanctioned woman. Y'all only hear my sanction man, the Muhammad sanction man father, and sanction man. Whatever happened to this sanctioned woman? What is she up to? Is she still getting paid taxpayers' money? What's going on with her? Sanctioned woman? But notice the Mohammeds them don't talk about she a tal. Y'all know why, right? Anyways, sanctioned woman, good night to you. Tomorrow's Valentine's, right? And why is it that the corrupt PVP regime, you don't even hear about these sanctioned guys too? Mark Cromwell, also known as Demon, Paul Darby Jr., sanctioned, Randolph Duncan, sanctioned, Hemnat Saw, a policeman, a senior policeman, sanctioned. You don't hear about them at all, man. I wonder why. Anyways, we all know why. And then this one here, quiet. I wonder why. Well, we all know why, right? Anyways, I'm out of here. Mashramani's around the corner. I want you guys to hear probably the first or one of the first Mashramani songs ever in Guyana. Since in the 1970s, Guyana's first Mashramani was a guy by the name of El Dorado. And El Dorado happens to be my uncle, my paternal uncle. His name is Julius Benskop. Julius Alfonso Benskop. He's 80-something years old, almost 90, my uncle. Uncle Julius, thank you so much. He was part of Guyana's history. Here is this song, Mashramani, as we prepare for Mashramani. This is when Mashramani songs were Mashramani. But these days, you're going to hear just, you're the enemy. Times have changed again, right? Understand. But this was one of the original Mashramani songs way back. That was when times were different. This is Julius Benshop, also known as the Mighty El Dorado.
matrimony. Whole scene, I change up a new sensation, sparkling through. Glorious, not of the land. All is well, Guyana's future is bright. March from